If David had been sleeping with another woman, I'd have seen the signs. Longer working hours, monosyllabic conversation, his phone face down on the countertop. But what signs could have led me to suspect Zoey? I thought that not wanting to touch your wife was perfectly normal. My parents' generation have an alarming relationship with their televisions. My mother, born in 1950, turns off her TV, along with the lights in the sitting room, when she goes to bed, then turns it back on again as soon as she wakens. It was always this way. And in the houses of my friends growing up, it was the same, a persistent stream of chatter and advertising, the automated soundtrack to our working-class childhoods. Once I had my own home, I replaced the thrum of the small screen with a silence so pure I could hear my bare feet sticking to the wooden floors, the gulp of water pausing in the pipes as it ran towards the radiators, my breath gauzy and quick. When I married David, I asked him to watch the football upstairs so I wouldn't have to hear the droning of the commentator. I found the repetitive rumble of our neighbour's perennial hot tub so unbearable, I complained, in a gently worded text message. Silence became the goal, until it was the problem, which it always had been anyway. My life's dream was to live in a detached house. I met David at one of Leonard's parties the summer I graduated. My limbs clenched as he came into the room, and I touched the ends of my hair foolishly dyed red from a bottle that morning. I had immediately regretted it. The top of my forehead was stained pink. He was with an outrageously tall girl who was wearing a tight rainbow dress, and my first thought was how odd they looked together. She had the physique of a brawny Viking, while he was lean and somewhat inconspicuous in jeans and a navy shirt, a denim jacket held tightly in one fist. I had found myself stuck with a particularly boring university acquaintance. She was disclosing her upcoming travel plans to Majorca, leaving from Stansted because God almighty Heathrow is a curse, while I tried to tune into the more sinewy conversation David was having with a group across the room. Someone suggested that the issue of fox hunting was more complex than animal rights activists were claiming, and jobs would be lost if the sport were banned. David asked what sorts of jobs, and his interlocutor replied by making a joke I couldn't hear. David laughed politely, then turned, and we made eye contact. He took off his glasses, cleaned them on the hem of his shirt, and put them back on again without taking his gaze from me. In that moment, he seemed to be asking another question, and I wanted to disappear into the wallpaper behind me. He had lovely, thick eyebrows. I excused myself and found Leonard in the garden. He was flipping food on the barbecue. "Sorry you got stuck with Elaine," he said. His apron was smeared in ketchup. "I forget how dreary she is, but she's nice." I told him she wasn't that nice, that I had purposely lost touch with her. Steadily, Leonard placed a dozen vegetable skewers beneath the spitting row of burgers and sausages. He was thinner than usual, on account of a devastating breakup with the boy he dated since he was at school. They'd been faithful throughout university, despite living apart, and Leonard being regularly propositioned by lecturers and postgrads in the English department. While the rest of us stumbled legless around the student union on a Friday night, Leonard was on a bus heading for Leeds. At the time, we envied his puzzling and stubborn commitment to love. But in light of the breakup, his fidelity seemed a waste of time.